Hello, my name is Sam Feltham. I'm the Director of the Public Health Collaboration and welcome to the PHC Virtual Conference 2020. The coronavirus has changed all of our lives, but where there's an obstacle, there's also an opportunity. And that opportunity comes in the guise of this virtual conference. Earlier this year, we had to postpone our two main events, the annual conference and the Real Food Rocks Festival, until next year. These events allow us to connect, learn and grow, but they also help us raise crucial funds for the PHC to continue. With that in mind, and before we let the next presenter speak, this virtual conference is 100% free for all. But if you find the content valuable today, then please consider donating £2 or whatever you can afford through the Total Giving website via www.phcuk.org/donate. Or if you're in the UK, you can simply text PHC to 70660 to donate £2 directly from your phone. We hope you enjoy the conference from wherever you are in the world, and be sure to get involved in the civil conversation on the comments section here on YouTube or via the hashtag PHCVCon2020 on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for your support, take care and stay safe.
Hello there, I'm so excited to be at the Public Health Collaboration virtual conference. Thanks so much, Sam, for arranging it and for inviting me along again. Today I'm going to share some ideas with you about how we can help our patients become healthier by kicking sugar from their diet. I'm going to talk about examples from the dental world, but equally relevant for any healthcare provider. The evidence shows the average adult visits their dentist every 18 months. And a good number of people come every 6 months to have a cleaning. I know for one, I only visit my GP when I have a problem, or I go for a screening every 5 years. So the dental community has a unique opportunity to change our patients' behavior and improve their health. In this brief presentation, I want to implore on you that each contact matters. And as healthcare providers, not just in the dental world, if we provide personalized, clear, concise, evidence-based guidance, we can help our patients to change their behavior. So, who am I and why am I so interested in helping? Right, let's share the screen now and let's start this off. Good, and play. Good, brilliant. So you should have the screen now in front of you. The topic is helping our patients to kick sugar. So who am I? So I'm a dentist. You can see me on the left-hand side. My name's James Goolnik. I've spent the last 27 years fighting the damage that sugar does to our bodies. Now, luckily as a dentist, I can see the damage that happens very quickly. So within 3 months of somebody changing their diet and having more sugar and processed foods, I see the damage that happens to the teeth. And tooth decay is 100% preventable, and it's purely down to diet. So we have a unique advantage in speaking to our patients. And as I said earlier on, we're seeing our patients more regularly and how we can interact and how we can make them change their behavior. So who's my team? So I set up a charity called the Rewards Project about a year ago, and you can see here a group of people on the team. So we have, first of all, Katie and Giancarlo Caldesi, both chefs that you may know of. They help me learn about taste and about cooking and about flavors and how to get people off sugar very quickly. Then we've got Jenny Phillips next to me, who's a nutritionist, and she's helped me to understand what happens with sugar in your bodies. I'm an expert of what happens to sugar in the mouth and how it increases inflammation, not just in your mouth, but in your whole body. But Jenny helped me with what happens to the rest of your body. We've got Dr. Joanne McCormick on the left-hand side, and she's helped me about sugar and how it interacts with your body and causes massive issues, and we'll talk about those later on. And then right at the bottom, we've got Linda Shaw. She's a psychologist, and she's helped me understand behavioral change and how we can get patients to change their behavior, because that's what we're trying to do. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to identify the problem because it is a massive problem. Obesity is huge, type 2 diabetes is huge, cardiovascular disease, and now with COVID-19, we're looking at increased mobility of patients who have those risk factors. So big problem, and we need to try and identify and change it. And what is the solution? Now, it's not easy to make behavioral changes, but it is quite simple to show our patients how they can make changes in their lifestyle and their diet and notice an almost immediate effect. Studies have shown that after only 6 days of changing, cutting down on sugar and processed foods, your palate recalibrates and you'll notice things suddenly taste a lot sweeter. But there's lots of other things that we can do to make little gentle nudges with our patients to get an aha moment and go, aha, now I understand that what I'm putting in my body is having this effect. It's affecting my skin, it's affecting my sleep, it's affecting my energy, and it's affecting my mood and also my teeth. So how could we get in there at that stage and think, you know what, we're going to make a change to it. And then the most important thing is follow-up. Change is difficult, and how we can follow up with our patients and understand it's not going to be simple. There's going to be certain setbacks. We're going to go forward and backwards, but eventually together we will become healthier and we notice it. And I'll show you some tools that I've used with my patients that work really, really well. So I really implore on you, whether you're in dentistry, physio, nutrition, any sort of healthcare, to make every contact count with your patient. We have a unique opportunity to make changes, but we need to make sure that we're being consistent and we are using the evidence to show people. You can see with the picture on the right hand side that sugar affects all over the body. It's not just the teeth. And obviously I'm an expert on gum disease and tooth decay, but you can see all the other problems: metabolic problems, weight gain, hunger, belly fat, cardiovascular problems, energy, mood. And that's one of the biggest things actually that we get a big change with our patients, is to say, notice, keep a food diary. When you eat something, see how you feel half an hour, 45 minutes after eating it, because you're going to notice, for some people, when they have sweet things or carbohydrates, they notice they become quite tired, quite sluggish after about half an hour. And once they connect with what they're fueling their body with and how they feel afterwards, they think, aha, when I have this, this is how I feel. When I have this, this is how I feel. Maybe I should change these things. So try and make every single contact count. It's very important. We talked earlier on about tooth decay. It's very easy for me as a dentist, when somebody comes in with a problem, to say, look, this is what's caused it. It's purely down to diet. We can make some changes. I mean, it's scary in children, especially young ones, as they don't choose their diet. The parents choose everything, and they're finding they're getting tooth decay very early on. So it's really down to diet and how we can educate people to different ways. And we can try and make it a bit more fun, because tooth decay is the most prevalent bacterial infection in the world. And you can make it fun. So I don't know if any of you have tried this. This is a disclosing tablet which you can buy at a chemist or online. It's basically a vegetable dye, and you chew it around for 30 seconds, and it actually shows you where the plaque, where the bacteria is on your teeth. So I usually suggest with our patients to brush their teeth and clean everything beforehand. Then you chew this tablet for 30 seconds, rinse out, and have a look in the mirror. And you can see with this patient, all the purple areas, especially the dark areas where the bacteria is, and they go, wow, I didn't realize I missed this because it's invisible. And then you get them to brush and get rid of it. So then I encourage people to do this once a week to actually check that they're cleaning properly. And this is a good tip. So you can get disclosing tablets that's not expensive, and it's worth trying them, and also doing it with your family and your kids as well. And it can also be quite fun. You get a purple tongue, so just be a little bit careful afterwards that your tongue stays about that color for about half an hour afterwards, which the kids find really exciting. But if you've got any important photographs, it might not be quite as good. So we know there's a big problem with sugar. We know there's a big problem with diabetes. We know obesity, type cardiovascular disease, hypertension as well. But what is the solution? And the quickest solution to this is changing lifestyle and changing diet. But it's not as easy as it thinks, because we need to change our behavior. And changing behavior takes time. We need to have some system in place to help. So I'm encouraging healthcare providers to have a program for take your patient through that you can say, look, start here. This is how we're going to start. We're going to fill in a baseline so we know what your mood is like, your sleepers, your skin, what diet you tend to eat now, what your energy levels are like. And then we're going to put small changes in that are achievable, and then you're going to notice an improvement. And when you start noticing improvement, you go, when I do this, this is what happens. When I do this, this is what happens. So you can get things out. But you've got to make it easy. You've got to make it so it can be done as a family together, because if one person is cutting down on sugar or carbohydrates and the rest of the family isn't, it's going to be a struggle. So make it easier. We do a 14-day sugar challenge, and the biggest thing we do at the beginning is actually start cleaning out all the rubbish. We call it the sweet sweeper, and we clean out all the rubbish from the car, from the house, from the office, and replace it with healthier foods and snacks, because you want to make it easy. If you have to use your willpower every day, so if there is cakes and biscuits and chocolates around the house, and every day you have to look at them and think, oh, I really want that, but I'm not going to have it, you're going to find it harder and harder and harder to stop. But if you actually clear everything out, and as Lou Walker was saying, is if you put a tin, so if you have cakes or biscuits around the house, if they're in a tin, so at least they're out of sight, it makes it easier. You don't need to rely on your willpower. It's just a habit. It's there. I always find that with work and things like that, if I've got a lot to do, if my desk is really full of things, I find it very hard to focus and get distracted easily. But if you clear the surrounding area, make it ready to work, you'll find it easier. And the same thing is with food. And also, I spoke to Jenny Phillips recently, and she gave me a really good tip about cooking. And some people obviously struggle a little bit with cooking or don't enjoy it as much. And one of the tips she was saying is that try and make the kitchen area a pleasant area to be in. So if you've got a chance to redecorate or anything, put it in colors you like, make it easier to move around, find implements that you like using. Perhaps you have music in the background or something to make it a fun place to be rather than a chore, because cooking and eating should be fun. We should enjoy it. We should do it as a family. It's not just fueling our body, but it's actually helping change our behavior and making us healthier. So change of behavior can make a big improvement in health. And you can notice it very quickly with kicking out sugar and processed foods. So when we're doing our messaging to our patients, it's got to be very clear. There's been lots of mixed messages in the past with low fat, low carb. It's actually got to make it really clear for people so they understand these are the things you can eat, these are the things you can't eat, and this is why. So make it very clear. Try and make it concise so it's not too confusing for people, so they can make it easier to start their habits and get it into it. We want to make it evidence-based. There's so much stuff out there. What's a superfood, what you can have, what you can't have. Try and make it evidence-based so people can notice the difference and say, yes, there's clear evidence that sugar is not needed as a fuel in our body and we can cut it out. And then also consistency. So when they come back to review patients to see what's going on, are they being consistent? What's happening? Are they finding that they're going out more often and they're finding it really hard to stick to the diet when they go out? So give them some help with, okay, well, this is how you maybe choose these restaurants, which the menu is easier so you can look in advance. Maybe you have the cheese board or something as desserts, you don't feel that. Or as I say, if you're going to have sugar, have proper real sugar, none of these artificial sweeteners or anything, and know you're having it, and don't have it every day. It is to be used occasionally. If it's somebody's birthday or some special occasion, or you know you want to have something, fine, have it. There's not a problem. It's just not every day. It's not something we should be fueling ourselves with every day. So I wanted to share a few things that I've done with my patients that make it quite easily. One really good thing is a food diary. And we start with 3 days because it makes it very easy for people to fill it out. We usually try and have one day as a weekend, and we try and put what you have to eat, what time you have it, and also how you felt before you're eating, because some people eat just because they're bored. And maybe it's always 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just because there's a lull. And actually, would it be better if they just got up out of their desk, went for a quick walk, had a glass of water and they're actually not really hungry. So before you're eating is actually, are you hungry? You want to be sticking to 3 full satiated meals a day and not snacking. Maybe initially as you transition, you may need to have snacks, but eventually your body doesn't need it. So look at what you're eating, fill out the form. It's really important if you're giving it as a clinician to put the patient's name on it, make it personalized, and actually then book in an appointment to get them back in again. It's rather than just doing one-off. You want to be following them up and seeing, okay, we're going to get this, start with a food diary. I want to see you in a week's time. We're going to go through it and give you some tips and advice and then customize it just for you. So we talked a little bit about the 14-day sugar challenge. We have a questionnaire, as I mentioned before, about your mood and your energy levels, your weight, your health, sleep, and obviously dental health as well. We do it as a team. So as a business, I pay for my team to have for 2 weeks worth of healthy lunches. They sign a pledge that means that they don't bring anything with added sugar or processed food into the business for that 2 weeks. And all they have to do is provide breakfast and dinner. And they fill in the questionnaire anonymously, so we can then see 2 weeks later how they feel. And they really do notice a difference. We get people giving up sugar in their coffee they've had for 20 years and they've realized they don't need it. It's just a habit. They've always done it. So what are the things that you could do to get your patients involved with the challenge as well? It's very simple to do and get them to notice it, because 2 weeks is enough for most people to commit to and see a change. We've got a cookbook out as well, which all the proceeds goes to charity, to the Rewards Project, looking at getting schools and nurseries sugar-free. The aim is by 2023 with your help. And you can see lots of delicious recipes of breakfasts, lunches and dinners. We've got lots of vegetarian options and vegan options as well. And the whole idea is that you enjoy your food. It's supposed to be fun, exciting and fueling you. It's not supposed to be something, it's not a diet, it's a way of life. One big thing we find that some people struggle with it because they just don't understand how to cook, or they didn't realize that vegetables, they're more than just boiling them. And I know for a fact when I was a child, we just had boiled or steamed vegetables, that was it. And now I've learned through working with Jenny and Katie and Giancarlo that there's actually 7 different ways to cook vegetables, and depending on how you cook them and what herbs and spices you add and what oils or butters you add, they taste completely different. My favorite actually is roasting them, but you can see on the screen there, we've got steaming, we've got boiling, we've got roasting them, we've got griddling them, we've got sauteing them, pan frying them, and also you can steam them as well. So have a look at the different ways that you can cook vegetables and make them taste delicious. So we try and go with the remit that half your plate is vegetables, and then the rest is proteins and fats, but half the plate is vegetables. You can't really have too many vegetables, so really pile up the vegetables as well if you can. So what barriers do we find that our patients have to change? The number one barrier is motivation. Why do they want to change? If we just tell them to change the diet and cut out sugar, they're really not going to do it. So there has to be a motivation. So luckily when they come to the dentist, if they've got a problem, if they've got gum disease, they've got tooth decay or something, we see it and say, look, the reason they're having it is because of your diet. We don't want to treat you and do any treatment. This is the way that we can reverse it. So if the gums are inflamed, how about changing the way you brush, changing your diet, and let's review you in 6 weeks and see what the difference is. And actually we make a big difference there when we change that. So looking at motivating people when they have some sort of mini health crisis, whether it's tooth decay, when they have a heart attack, where they've had some sort of health scare and they think, right, that's the motivation, or their family member has it and that's the motivation to do it. Because unless there's a motivation, they're not going to change. The next thing you need is a support network, because it's very difficult to change on your own, especially as an adult. So have you got friends and family, colleagues, you're going through the challenge together? Is there a way that you can have a support network? We have a big network on Facebook. So when you join the challenge, you get a link to join the Facebook group. It's a private group and it's full of all the healthcare professionals that we work with, but also hundreds of other people that have actually gone through the challenge and are helping you going through it. We have videos every day, different recipes, tips and ideas when you want to change things. If you feel like something sweet, what are the options you can have? So really important to get a support network. We also found like a WhatsApp group works really well. So maybe you can invite your patients to change their diets and then have a WhatsApp group and have a daily sort of chat, send photos of what they're cooking, and really encourage them to do it. So that's important. And then the other thing is what you do if you hit a roadblock, because we're all human. Some things happened and maybe you're going out and you find that actually there's nowhere to eat and the only thing you can have is a sandwich. Looking at what the options are. So if you're having to eat out, it's harder because you don't know what's gone into the food. So what are the best foods to have? If you're planning somewhere and you might not be able to get home in time, have some healthier snacks with you so you can have those rather than have to do that. But look at what you can have. If you go and go off kilter slightly and have a bit of sugar, and then don't sort of beat yourself up. It's just a journey. It's a matter of just saying, you know what, I'm human, that's happened, but think about when you had it and why. What was it? Because of your mood? Was it because you were bored? Was it because there was nothing else to eat? Just think about why you had it and how your body felt afterwards. You think, I've just had a can of Coke. I don't feel great now. My teeth feel a sort of a bit shiny and a bit different. I feel a bit irritable. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to have another Coke again. And just, you might happen a few times, but eventually you associate with what you're eating and drinking and what you're feeling. So just think about that as well. It becomes quite, as I said, easier when we've got a community with us. So you can see here, this is the Kick Sugar community. So if you go on Facebook and type in Kick Sugar or Kick Sugar community, this will come up. We've got, as I said, over 600 members so far. It's only been going a couple of months. So we'd love you to join it and interact and share tips and advice with other people. We talked about actually sugar being everywhere, and it's quite tricky, especially some places to go where we want to eat something healthy, but there isn't anything healthy there. So think about what you're going to do and how you're going to go in front of the people that sugar pushers are pushing sugar and maybe have a chat with them. Maybe it's at schools or nurseries. Maybe it's when you go out for a restaurant and they put these jelly beans or something with the bill, and maybe you could have a word with them and say, you know what, that's really not a treat, that's not a reward. There are better things to do with the bill. I'm going to eat those sweets and then feel rubbish afterwards. And the last thing I'm going to remember about your restaurant is the sicky feeling I feel after eating the whole packet of jelly beans. So perhaps you could put some cheese or nuts or just a nice thank you quote or some stickers. And I'll show you this in a minute. It doesn't have to be food or sugar to reward yourself. There are lots of other ways to do it. And you can see that what things that we've done in our community to try and engage with people, try and make them think about other things they can reward themselves with rather than food and sugar, and how cooking can be fun, exciting, and also delicious and nutritious as well. We go into schools and nurseries, so if anyone's got any connections with schools and nurseries and wants us to go in and chat to them about nutrition and diet, I'm very happy to do that with you. So what the sort of top tips you can do really is you really want to personalize it. So rather than giving everyone the same diet sheet and the same advice and things, actually spend some time, gain a rapport with your patient or your client, find out what their biggest challenges are and when they tend to eat badly, and personalize the plan for them. Come up with a plan which is coming out how often you're going to review them, what you're going to do with setbacks, and also celebrate their successes when they do really well at something, when they come back and their mouth's much healthier, when they've got better breath, they haven't got any cavities, no gum disease. How are you going to celebrate them? One of the big things we find, and it works with adults, children, anything, is stickers. Now, a lot of people find that stickers or badges, they say, oh, I'm not going to do that, but they actually do. We had a family in about 6 months ago, and it was a boy and a girl who were about 12 years old and their father. And they came in and I was sort of chatting to them, hadn't seen them for a while, and I was going, how are you doing? Do you think you're doing really well in the cleaning? And the son goes, yeah, I think I've done the best cleaning of the family. And the daughter goes, no, it's my me. And I said, well, let's see what your bleeding score was. So we examined the son first, and he'd done really well. He had 12% bleeding score. As a dentist, what we do is we probe around the mouth and see which areas are bleeding. It shows us the level of inflammation in the mouth. So he only had 12%, which is really good. And he was really smug. I said, do you think that deserves a sticker? And he said, yeah, definitely. So we got out all our bowl of stickers with all the different options, and he chose one, put it on. He's 12, so he'd be really excited by it. His sister came up, who was 11, and she was saying, oh, I'm not sure if I'm as good. We had a look, and she only had 8% score, so even better. So the lower the score, the better. She chose a sticker as well, and Dad was looking very sheepish in the corner. And we said to both of them, so do you think Dad's going to get a sticker? And they both looked at me and go, no, James, I don't think so. So he sat down in the chair, and his bleeding score was 30%, so really high. Got a problem, so he needs to come back and see the hygienist and work harder on his cleaning. And so Dad didn't get a sticker. So at the end of the appointment, the two kids came out really proud. I've got my stickers, and Dad didn't get one, and he didn't look very happy. So I'm hoping next time I see him, there's going to be a big change in him. So stickers really do work. You can see a picture here with Sam and badges, and even adults like badges and stickers in recognition. So think about what you can do to help recognize the success of your colleagues and your patients when they change their diets and improve their health as well. So almost finished now. I just wanted to say, we talked about the book. I've got a book out called Kick Sugar. All the profits go to the Charity Rewards Project, trying to get schools and nurseries sugar-free by 2023. I'd love you to go on to the 14-day sugar challenge. You can see the website, rewardsproject.org. My email is james@rewardsproject.org. If anyone has any questions or any ways and wants to connect, not just the dental community, but all healthcare, together we can make a big difference and get our patients healthier and get them to kick sugar. Thank you so much for listening, and see you soon.